Oh no, they. Tell us a little bit about Lake Forest PD in this area that we're in.
So Lake Forest is a fairly affluent community. We get a lot of the Bears players live in town. Obviously, their facilities here in Lake Forest, so we work with them quite a bit. It's Lake Forest Police. We're a very highly educated police force compared to most. Because we are a affluent community, we're able to kind of hire the best and the brightest that want to be in this line of work. So that's kind of what we're all about, and we're all about a service-oriented type policing. 99% of our calls are like calls for service, where we're helping out the community and trying to resolve problems.
What are some of the community programs that you guys have?
So we have our Citizens Police Academy, which is when we invite the community into the police station to learn about our job, what we do, how and why we respond certain ways in certain scenarios. We have a program called Risk Watch. Risk Watch is what we offer to our elementary schools. We go over kind of stranger danger, some drug stuff, Halloween safety, bike safety. We have a program called Leaders. Leaders is our own version of DARE. We don't focus on drugs so much as we focus on the elements and what it takes to be a positive, productive member in society. We have what we call the Donut Cup and the Donut Bowl. The Donut Bowl is when the cops and the kids play football together, flag football. The Donut Cup is when the cops and the kids we play together, we play floor hockey. So we do those two big events with our youth group every year.
I'm Rashaad from Brooklyn, New York. I've been here in Chicago for 3 years. Played for Chicago Bears. And growing up in New York City, we didn't have those I guess leaders or people to look up to show them that you can make it out of any situation, negative, positive, just and having the resources, because I didn't have a lot of resources growing up, and I just came to Chicago just to try to make a difference, start here and then give back to New York City as well. So I've been out to East Chicago high school, high school, middle school, and just meeting some of the kids and just asking them, how's everyday life. Some kids don't have their dads in their lives, and I understand that, so I try to talk to them more and encourage them more, and then tell them school is very important. Even if you don't like it, it'll get you very far. And if you play any type of sports, it would it could take you to many places. Because football is taking me so many places, it's like ridiculous. So I just make sure they understand that and then stay in touch with them, to let them know it's just not a one-time thing just for me to look good. It's like, I'm serious. If you need help, I'll help you with anything, tips for sports or school.
All right, so as a player and a citizen, what are your concerns, or what do you think could be more communicated between the police and the civilians, or the police and the citizens, from your point of view?
Okay, well,
you think about this too, Officer Krum.
Okay, like growing up, I really never had real problems with law enforcement, because I never really, putting myself in that situation where there's gonna be a problem. So I never did that, but like I've been around my friends in high school where New York City police officers are, sometimes they can be nasty. Let's be real, they can be nasty, and they're profiling guys. They profile guys. Where I walk with my friends and they will stop and frisk them for no reason, just to make them uncomfortable. And it's like, everybody's not up to, doing something negative, And most police officers, I have a close friend that's a police officer in Virginia Beach, and he tells me every day, like, it's hard because your life is on the line if nobody's cooperating. Like, when you tell them instructions, if the person's not cooperating, it gets him nervous. Like, I'm telling you what to do so everything will be okay, and you're not listening, then there's going to be a problem. So I get where he comes from, where he got to protect himself at the end of the day. But I feel that for like talking and communicating and not trying to talk down to kids will help help situations go completely differently. I feel like, don't talk to a kid a certain way, and it's vice versa. Like, kids can't be disrespectful to police officers too, because I've been around my friends where they're being disrespectful to cops. And I'm like, yo, he could just slam you and be right, and you can't even say nothing about it. I say you need to chill out and stop being disrespectful, because at the end of the day, they're here to protect you. And I feel like once they get that understanding of we're not all doing the same thing, or trying to be, I guess, doing the wrong thing, and really just being kids, it'll be much different, like way easier. And vice versa for kids, like watching social media, people recording cops doing bad things. Like, of course, there's always gonna be good and bad. That's everyone. That's everything and everything you do. But social media influence so much of the bad, and that's not how it is. Like, I met great cops before. It's like, okay, this is a great guy. He wants to get back to the community and the kids, and then you got kids disrespecting him because of what they see on social media. And I feel like social media has a lot to do with the negativity of most cops, where all cops are not like that, and all kids are not like that, being violent and doing the wrong thing. And I feel like social media need to promote promote more positive influences, and stop recording or posting, oh, this cop is being a pig, or slamming kids, or kids disrespecting police officers. It should be like, okay, like they started posting kids, like officers playing basketball with kids, just trying to get them comfortable around their environment, because I know some officers get it. Kids have it tough sometimes too. So I feel like once we get that message across, it'll be so much easier for get rid of all the miscommunication and all the violence. I feel like it'll work.
How can we get this to a common understanding of whether it's awareness for the civilian about their laws and their rights, or the officers giving the awareness to the civilian that they know their rights and their stuff?
My point of view, there's two things that's needed. We need, one, communication, right? That solves most of our problems. Most problems that people have with the police, or the police have with some of the residents they're serving, is a communication thing. It's not that they disagree about the outcome or disagree about what's going on, it's that there's a miscommunication about what's going on. So I think communication solves a lot of problems. And then education. That, luckily, in my job and being assigned to a school and getting to be around kids and with kids and in and out of their classrooms all day, I get to have these conversations with them, and I love to have conversations with kids about their interactions with the police. The best conversations I have is when kids come to me and say, hey, you know what, I was out, this is what I was doing over the weekend, I ran into a policeman, this is what he did, or this is what he said, can he do that, why can he do that? And I engage in that conversation, and if something doesn't seem right, I'll look further into it and try to follow up with that student and say, hey, this is why. Or if they're confused about why it's legal for the officer to be doing what he's doing, I try to find the case law and the laws that reference what happened, and explain that and show that through actual case law and actual statutes that have been passed by government to show why that was going on, and how to better protect themselves in the future, or I don't want to say protect, but better be informed when they're dealing with certain situations as to what their rights are and what's legal and what's not legal. So, I mean, I think communication and education is really where it all needs to start, and if we do a better job with that, I think it'll alleviate a lot of the problems and a lot of the negative images that we see today. And I agree, social media has been huge, because every one time you see a kid or a student or a police officer do something bad, we all know there's thousands and thousands of examples of others doing good. So I think a lot of times we funnel in on the bad, and we really miss an opportunity to focus in on a lot of the good things that are going on. I can tell you, although there's not a program, I make sure that if there are minority students, may it be race or religion or creed or whatever it may be, I make sure that they're represented. I make sure that their voice is heard. I make sure they're comfortable coming to school and that they don't have any issues and that they're not having bad encounters with the police. And if it is, I address them.
You're the first impression of an officer, whether it's good or bad. You know what I'm saying? Do you ever think about that when you're engaging with those students? Do you ever think like, you know what, this is how I treat this kid right now is how they're going to perceive every officer for the rest of their life, probably.
Absolutely. And the other plus that I have is because I'm in the school and kids are required to come to school, an officer on the road in patrol may run into a kid one time, have an interaction with him, maybe positive, maybe negative, maybe writes him a ticket, arrests him, I don't know, but has that interaction, and that might be the only time they ever see that kid again. For me, I have the fortunate ability that because they have to come to school, I usually get to follow up. So if they get themselves in trouble and I have to intervene and become part of the equation and write a ticket or arrest somebody or whatever it may be, I can follow back with that kid in a few days, and we can talk about what happened and we can, it kind of explain stuff, and when things calm down, have a conversation.
How many of you guys have had an encounter with a police officer? How many of you guys have had a bad encounter with a police officer?
So this would be for both law enforcement and even athlete. What is the most difficult part of your job?
Being professional at times. People can get under your skin, and knowing how to be the bigger person and walking away. Because people just say a lot of things to me about how we're, team is bad or you suck, and it's, you want to say some things, but it's just like, you know what, that's your opinion. If you could do it, you would be out here doing it, and just keep my mouth shut. Honestly, 9 times out of 10.
Couldn't have said my answer any better. You pretty much described, I think, our biggest challenge too. Just being the bigger person. People want to talk and want to treat you badly, and it is what it is. We kind of know going in, and we're kind of expected to take it, and that's okay too. So sometimes people just got to vent, right? Which is okay. People want to yell at me rather than yelling at their family members or taking it out on somebody else. I'm totally cool with that. That's part of my job.
To protect yourselves and your careers and whatever you want to do in life, do not post anything reckless on social media.
What's the best advice you can give someone who's trying to become a professional athlete?
Make sure you're open to advice. Like, even if you're doing something, you think you're doing something right, and somebody telling you what to fix, make sure you're open to advice and take it as in, like, okay, he's just looking out for me to get better. And like professional, like take care of your body. Make sure you're always on time or early. That's being a professional. Make sure you have, make sure your agenda's right. You plan your week out. Make sure you eat right.